Aha, there she goes. All right. So on 3, 2, 1.
Nick's Need Music. HB.
I just caught a vibe with you, baby. Can't wait till I'm inside of you, baby. Waking up inside.
Welcome back, Powerheads. Here we are with Ghost Book 2, Season 2, Episode 3. And there's no more Waldo. We found E-Dot. And E-Dot's back in the house. Welcome back, brother.
Sorry about the missed appearance. I apologize, everybody.
Hey, man. Of course, we always got Invisideal. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into this episode. This episode, I like to title Sky Smash versus E-Dot's Fave versus A.K.A. Loose Lips, Lose Consciousness, alias Ease on Down the Road. So let's get into that episode and see what's up. First, we get to it. Rashad Tate, he's got that little ceremony for Kamal going on there because Kamal just got promoted to detective. And this is after Kamal went ahead and hacked into the database for Rashad. So if they didn't catch what was going on then, they're not catching what's going on now.
No, they're not going to catch it, man. But honestly, I can't stand Rashad's character. So he's a punk to me, and he got a little bit of power. He's just trying to take as much advantage of it as possible.
Yeah, but the wild part is though, he's got his little Gemini act going on here. Definitely the street came out when your boy showed up, his niece, and he was like, "This ain't the Breakfast Club, nigga." He's like, "You got to quit me before I quote you." All right, now, what you waiting on? Kick rocks, little nigga. So at least we got a little dichotomy going on there. Some more interesting stuff going on with Rashad Tate. He's a slime ball, no doubt about it.
He's horrible. He's absolutely terrible.
We move forward to the Pachamama party. And I don't know if you guys know about Pachamama. You guys know about Pachamama?
I do not.
All right, so it's Peruvian, but it's also other Latin countries do it too, where they slaughter the pig, and afterwards they usually bury him in banana leaves and cook him up underground, and then serve him up in a big old party. That's where we get to meet Nuff, because Nuff is swinging on everybody with a blindfold. He doesn't know where he's going. Your boy Mecca shows up, and he welcomes Kane to the party, and he finally directs him in the right direction. And he finally hits the pig, but it's like a big piñata, ain't it?
It was. It had some party favors in there,
Party favors, by the time to party. So everybody's getting busy. Now, one character I like, because they're exposing more of him, and I think you probably do like him more, E2, is the chef.
I really do like the chef. I think there's a lot more to his character than what we're being shown right now. I think he knows, obviously he's privy to a lot because he's always there and he's always cooking. But if you heard him, right before Nuff was, Nuff said, "Oh yes, you knew him back when he was in Kuwait." And then that was when the chef called over the girls. So right. I think I'll say this, I don't necessarily know if I trust that character anymore. I thought he was...
Talking about Nuff?
No, I'm not talking about Nuff. Nuff is just loose lip. I don't think Nuff knows what's going on. I'm talking about Mecca.
Oh, okay. Well, see, what happens basically, he's trying to keep his life secret. There's, keep it simple, stupid. As few people know about what his background is as possible, the better. Because I really think that his time in Kuwait is probably somehow tying into how he's the big supply man right now.
I don't necessarily agree with that. There's a lot of things that Mecca was doing to hide kind of who he is and also asking a lot of prying questions. I don't trust his character.
Okay. And it's a good point. Nuff and Kane are busy partying over on the sofa because, of course, Chef called him over. Chef's got Mecca's back. There's no doubt about that. Because he's trying to shut down all the nuts running off at the mouth. And exactly. Kane is like, "Come on over here, Mecca. You trying to get this?" And then Nuff is like, "There's no reason."
Yeah, and we're gonna see it a little bit later.
Well, he's all caught up. He's also caught up in some bits. And as soon as the word "B" escaped from his mouth, what happened?
He got choked. Well, he got choked out. He put to sleep.
The young standing choke out.
He did.
Single-handed choke out.
Single standing. What? Like,
you ain't got those carotids, didn't he?
He got both of them.
None. No blood flow.
None.
But the best part of that whole scene was he said he'd be back online in a minute.
Yeah. He said he'll be back online in a minute. Don't worry.
Yeah, man, that shit was pretty dope. Moving forward a little bit, we got Kevin Whitman And to me, that's my least favorite character of the show. I mean, yeah, he's doing what he's got to, but he's just like the worst aspect ever in Cops, you know, where they lie to get whatever they want.
He's also a jealous ex. I mean, you know, he's somebody who, I mean, okay, look, you got involved with a woman with a sex addiction, okay? That was your choice. She was using you for her addiction, and when she was done with you, she was done with you. But now you're this jealous fling who thinks that they were like an ex, and you're barking up, honestly, it's funny, you bark up the wrong tree.
Yeah, so he's barking up Zeke's tree, but as we all know, we try to believe that Zeke would have some kind of like, okay, man, this is your chance. I mean, you've been like acting like a doofus so far, and you know he seemed to be mounting the pressure on you, so you know you still might be able to come through and save your character. But yo, your boy starts hitting him with how basically he called B-Watt or Carrie a slut, and saying that she's down to get down with anybody in the vicinity. You know, he's all on him, and then your boy's getting puffy. You know what I mean? He's feeling what's going on there, and he's a little defensive. She's not that type, you know, and it's really telling the detective a whole lot more about what's really on the surface.
That entire interrogation, he knew what he was doing. He started pressing his buttons because he knows Zeke definitely has feelings for Carrie. So he knew if I start disrespecting her, I'll be able to tell whether or not you've been telling me the truth, because if you actually care about her, he's going to get the evoked response that he got from Zeke. I mean, and he knew he was lying.
Yeah, and then, you know, it was like he was really about to crack him open because your boy was panicking. He called Monet, and we're going to get to where Monet was in a minute. But he called Monet, she wasn't answering. She had also left him with the PDA card for Detective Ramirez. She never told him that Ramirez is missing and we no longer use that connection. Give me the card back. So he goes ahead and he grasps with the last little remaining straw he has. And then your boy lights up like a Christmas tree. He's like, because remember on his board, you know, he had Bolo. So that's that alert out for trying to find a rogue cop and whatnot.
Yeah.
So he's thinking Ramirez is suspicious in some other murders and stuff. And now there's a new murder. And now he has possibly a way to tie it in. And next thing you know, everything is going wild. First of all, we go back to the episode from the previous one where Zeke was, you know, busting that chick who was just running off at the mouth. You already know she was bad news. She went ahead and, you know, sold her story. You know, they started putting all over the campus and whatnot. So somebody finds out, and we're going to get to who found out. But before that even happens, Monet's popping up in the crib. Now, Monet, we want to get to where she's in the station, but we can't get to where she's in the station because we got to back it up a little bit. Mecca has set the place, bought the restaurant. It is his restaurant now. They're bringing in the little single scallops, which I'm like, oh, it never fills me up, but it's so delicious.
Delicious.
And they're pouring their little butter over it and the little seasonings and stuff. And your girl Monet's walking in. Now, thank God she had that mink stole on because we didn't really see what was on and popping with those shoulder pads. But later on, we found out that she obviously raided your girl Patti LaBelle's closet from when she was easing on down the road in the Wiz. And those shoulders look like she was a supervillain from The Flash. I'm sorry.
I agree. That outfit was terrible.
If they're gonna do something, she might put Mecca's eye out.
But at the same time, you know, it is Mary J. That is probably something that she would actually personally wear on her own, and something that somebody of her, that's trying to portray her age in the show, but also trying to maybe seem as though they're coming off younger, trying to fall into too many different categories, right? You know, it wasn't my favorite outfit, but Mary J could pull it off.
Okay. So
Mary J could pull it off.
Now here's where the debate comes in. And that is, it's not a debate for me, and it's probably not a debate for you, but I was discussing it with Tiburon Tigray, and I was just like, he smashed. Because she was like, I never did anything like this before. And it's a little late to be saying that if you're just talking about the helicopter ride, because they had already been chirping around the city a little bit.
I disagree with that, because I think that they sat at that restaurant, because, first of all, when you go to restaurants like that, when they're bringing out the single scallops, you already know it's going to be a long time before you get done with that meal, because it's going to be a lot of courses. And you don't know. I think he got her there at around, think about it like right now, we're going to like today. You get to a restaurant at about 4 o'clock, By 5:15, it's already pitch black outside. I don't think so. I think he took her up and took her on a view in a helicopter. That's something she hadn't done before. I mean, there's a lot of people that, regardless of how much money you had, a nighttime skyline tour in a helicopter in New York is still not something that you've done. I don't think there was enough time between dinner and when she had to go get Zeke out of jail. Not well, he went in jail, but out of the police precinct for them to have done that.
He smashed the hell out of them shoulder blades. I'm sorry. They were probably deflated by the time the next scene came up. That was it. All right. So he got it, bro, because they had landed by the time she checked her messages and found out what was really going on. And I got to leave. And Becca was probably like, okay, you can leave now. So she rolled out and she's on her way. So meanwhile, your boy Tariq is up to a little something. He was talking to his boy Braden, and his boy Braden investigated the little rooftop thing that he got from Lauren and found out a little something they could do with a little 3D printer, didn't they?
It did, and that was dope because it, alleviates a lot of contact and all that kind of stuff. That was dope. But, QR codes, I mean, that's we're getting real high tech drug dealing right now, but that's something that I was like, man, that's definitely millennial drug dealing right there. We're gonna figure out a way to make with these 3D printers and QR codes so you're never having to see people.
For those folks at home who play the game at home, they use a 3D printer to simulate fake bricks, and they created an extra wall, and in that wall was a series of lockers from top to bottom. And in those lockers, everyone had their QR codes who was working for Tariq and Braden, and they could put in the money, get out the product. And then, Lauren could come up there, whenever she wanted to and not really know what was going on unless she ran into somebody. He's up there with Diana. Diana's like, you need to give me some info on McLean Davis because, I'm going to need him for something and you owe me for the sugar cake that they called the cocaine. And so he's like, he gives him the info. And then, so she's leaving and then Lauren pops up and then she's hot. She's thinking they had something going on and whatnot. But then Tariq finally shuts it down. And this is probably the smartest move ever.
He got blindly lucky that a text came in that he could take her to at that point in time that would kind of quell her, insecurities and all the issues. He's like, man, I've been dealing with so much. You know what? I actually want to show you what I've been dealing with. Boom. Now he takes her there. Now it's his little sister, Yaz, and she's at CPS, she's at Child Protective Services office, and he gets to visit her for some time. And now Lauren's guard's all back down again, and she's head over heels in love all over again because she just gets so emotional about Tariq.
That makes it E.'s favorite episode. Take it from here.
But no, so one thing that I love about it, though, is that, we didn't really know this, but Lauren was in on getting the phone to Yaz because she was like, oh, where's the bathroom? And she said, oh, it's up there on the left. She's like, wait, your left or my left? I don't know. Can you just show me? And the second she got her to walk away for a little bit, that's when Tariq was able to sneak the phone so that he can figure out what's going on. I think this is going to have a lot bigger implications later on. And then, we do get to the part where Lauren completely took her guard down and all her clothes off. They had their intimate scene real quick. And
look at you getting all respectful. Wifey must be checking out the episodes.
They had their intimate scene, and so because of that obviously now is going to play into Lauren having even more, emotions towards Tariq. And then what do we see that happens that pisses Tariq off, and he almost blew it right after that situation was over with? What happened when his phone rang?
Here it is. It's Zeke getting busted. Mm-hmm. And then he finds out that Lauren knew.
Yep.
And she knew that they were cousins, but she probably didn't bring it up to him because she still was trying to figure out where his head was at. And she wasn't all lovey-dovey with him like she is now. So she's apologetic, inappropriately so. And then so he's like, he takes it with a bullet. He's like, yeah, give me a kiss, blah, 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 I'm out. So he goes to go ahead and rescue him. He goes ahead and puts your boy, McLean Davis, into play. More money, more money, more money. Let's back it up a little bit. McLean Davis did meet, and Sachs did meet with your girl, Diana. And they said basically that there was nothing they could do for her at the time. But we'll jump on that in a
I was
minute.
gonna say, yeah, we're gonna jump on that in a minute because
Yeah, you know what though? Let's not jump into that minute. Let's go ahead and take that to the conclusion.
let's take it right now. Well, what you end up seeing is that the detective in Tejada's case has been fired for tampering with evidence. And we all know that whenever that happens, every single one of that detective's cases or that prosecutor's cases, they come up under scrutiny. Because now we don't know whether or not the evidence was legally obtained. We don't know if it was ethically obtained, nor do we know if it wasn't planted, because it's like that person that that they're guilty, but you just can't catch them. And so you get that overzealous cop that's like, I just got to get this person off the street. I'm just going to plant it. And then now they're gone.
And if you guys hadn't noticed yet, I'm outside here freezing my ass off with the lumberjack jacket on, but I'm outside already. So I'm just like his cases out the window. They go.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
All that somebody has to do is challenge them, and they getting ridden off.
But can we say this though? Can we have this quick conversation? If Tejada gets out and Monet and Mecca have this situation going on, that's gonna be
Hot.
woo.
Fire.
Yeah.
But here's the deal though. Mecca would beat that motherfucker's ass. Just from what I'm seeing from the two characters. Your boy's surviving in jail. He's a kingpin. Most of the time, the dudes who are kingpin at the top, sometimes they are little crushers and stuff, but a lot of times they are not the toughest dog in the pen. You know what I'm saying? And Mecca, from what we're seeing on the outside, is the toughest dog in the pen.
Mecca might also be a fed.
He's killing too many people. Remember, he murked like two dudes immediately, and then he kidnapped another one. He kidnapped another one and turned him over to Kane.
I don't know, because I'm still worried about the chef cutting off the Kuwait conversation. I'm worried about that.
Because that's his right hand man. That the boy, your chef, has some history with him. Maybe in Kuwait or maybe somewhere else. And he knows he's got to get this dude's back. People got loyalty to him.
I get it. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I don't trust his character just yet. I don't trust that he rolled up on Kane, Tariq, and Braden's meeting, because how is he really gonna know what that meeting was? What, he just gonna follow Kane? Once again, that's another red flag to me for his character. I have no trust in his character currently.
Tied into this. So for some reason, giving Kane second chances and trying to get close to Kane and all that. Now, maybe one of the reasons is that he's trying to get closer to Monet. Maybe one of the reasons is he's Kane's daddy. And when he went away and your boy was around, maybe there was this like a little tiny gap in there where a little baby popped up and something happened and maybe somebody didn't know it wasn't his. Or maybe he knew it wasn't his and decided to raise it as his own. So there's so many different possibilities with that. But either way, he seems to have a little bit of soft spot in him for Kane. So he was talking to Kane, and Kane told him, like, the Steve Urkel dude, I don't like him because, he's keeping everything on the low and it's undercover and nobody can find out. But then nobody inside our organization can find out. So Mecca took it upon himself to go ahead and hook him up with the extra knowledge. So it was all towards an end, and that is still keeping Kane in the fold. Plus, he also gave him a little suggestion, because he was like, I'm trying hard to where I can get to this dude and control this dude. But what kind of suggestions did he come up with how to control Tariq?
He was like, you got to get Braden in your pocket. And that's the key.
And he's already seen from the time they were on the street. Remember we made him sell? He's already seen that he'll jump at it. He'll jump at the dollars. Flash forward, Kane shows up. He's like, what's wrong? And then Braden was like, I need more money, because Tariq has told him at this point, he needs 30 grand. Right. So that he can establish an LLC, because who's up in there? Batch is up in there. Batch is up in there. And basically he's telling him, this is what you need to do. You need to pay us so we can establish this LLC and cut you a paycheck. So it's going to look right for the people at Protective Agency. So
exactly.
So that's what's up. So he does have his boy. He does have Tariq's whole situation in mind when he decides to go ahead behind Tariq's back and listen to your boy. And they were about to roll out and sell the product, find places to sell it really hot, really fast. But then Kane got that message from Monet about stuff going down. Exactly. And so that's when Kane had to move off on his own. He said, look, you can trust me. And then he ended up delivering with the goods. And when he delivered with the goods, what did he have with him?
We'll call them two streetwalkers. We'll call them streetwalkers.
The two goody goodies. Right. And then one of them seemed to strike your boy Braden's fancy. And
I know
he's
he
like,
handed him some money, was like, get something nice for yourself on me.
right. But then the funniest scene in the whole motherfucker right there was he was driving off. He said, I'm Braden and I'm in love.
Yeah. Yeah.
So meanwhile, we get out of there and we go back to the precinct. Your boy McClayton Davis has popped up at Tariq's Benny, and he's basically, telling him, what's up. Monet comes in there like a house on fire. She's telling him, you shut the fuck up. You get the fuck out of you fucking asshole. And he just snatches Zeke up, and he's like, he's leaving voluntarily now. And then they're rolling out. But then McClayton Davis, he comes up and he says, I'm a criminal defense attorney. I know who you are. Get the fuck out of my way. And then he was like, well, wait a minute. The reporter's going to eat him alive. I got this. Y'all sneak out the back way. So then they sneak out the back way. And then they have the conversation to me, which I have to say is probably the funniest conversation I've ever seen in Power. And it's all coming out of Monet's mouth.
I also like to throw in there the fact that there ain't no way Monet was walking up in that precinct talking to them police officers that way and won't go end up in handcuffs too. Because that was going to happen. She's not walking in there, barging through, like, no. You're not doing that. Because here's the thing, Zeke's not a minor. You know what I mean? Like, Zeke's not a minor anymore, so she can't pull the, you're speaking to my minor child without my consent and without me being present.
But Zeke is going to respond automatically into everything she says. I mean, his major automatically becomes his minor because now he's listening to Monet, and Monet is controlling his every action.
She's got to take it. She can't just barge in there like that. Zeke has to be willing to leave. His lawyer can walk in there and pull him out of there, but just a family member is not going to be able to do that. But
maybe your boy Whitman was a little intimidated the first time he sees some firepower from a woman. Maybe he couldn't. She shouldn't have been able to do that, but she was able to do that.
Well, we already seen he's been whipped by one woman.
There you go, pretty much. But then when they get in the car, man, and she's talking to Zeke, it's the funniest lines. She goes, that fucking professor bitch I told you to stop fucking with, your professor was fucking a dead professor, nigga, and you got all cut up because of some community pussy? And I was like, oh, shit. 3 hilarious lines just back to back. She was
back to back.
Game is dead. And rewind it 3 times.
It's funny too, because just from having played basketball and stuff, it's like that is a line that we've all heard. Like, why are you about to get in trouble over community pussy? If you don't leave that alone, it's not worth it. You better go to the league and make all this money. And you too busy fucking your professor, who's fucking the dead professor too, and now you're implicated in that. And they know you're lying. Zeke getting privy to everything. So, like, there's a lot of stuff that he's kept away from that, There you go. The season's going to get ugly.
Oh, it's about to get ugly real fast. So then you got to think about the fact that Carrie was dealing with these cats before. She was talking to Whitman in the office, and Whitman was, like, running her down, just, like, saying she's a murderer. Her and Zeke did it. And they killed Jabari and all this other crazy stuff. And it was nuts. But who was eavesdropping on the door?
Old slimeball Tate.
There you go, Rashad Tate. He's up on it. All right, man. So it was a very exciting and hilarious episode, especially with the Wiz characters going on there and the Flash, the supervillains, and the one-liners. But why are they messing up my whole prediction? Because Little Guap is supposed to be dead by now. And that was my prediction last week, that he was going to die this episode. And it looks like he's still going to be around. That's like
he's still gonna be in the picture. I mean, we're gonna see what those implications look like down the line. But I mean, it looks like he's gonna stay around in the picture.
And now Alonzo's he's about to get out. All right. So what's gonna happen is Monet gonna choose? Is Alonzo gonna find out about Mecca? Are they gonna mix it up? Which I hope. It's just like it's getting around to the nitty gritty and whatnot. So what's going on with that?
I mean, I think the biggest thing right now is that Tejada, doesn't know where Kane's connected. And Monet doesn't know where Kane's connect is either. I think if she finds out that it's Mecca, it's going to be a problem. And I think, once again, Kane's going to end up back on the chopping block again. He's going to end up back on the chopping block. Only this time, it's not going to be some prison guards with the cameras turned off.
Sorry.
It's going to be Zoe. It's going to be Zoe and Sub outside of prison.
Yeah, it's like they were still salty at him because the Ramirez ghost is popping up again. So, all right. So we got our predictions in there. You know, we're going to see what's going on next week. Glad to have you back, E-Dot. Invisible Deal. Always love, bro. And we'll check you guys next week.